these are the shrill voices. This is the tyranny of the fringe that is hijacking a narrative, and they may be getting the camera because of their extremism and getting the microphone, but the vast majority of American people, and a lot of these are my audience, don't agree with that. They stand strong behind Israel. They recognize that you are our ally and that this will not stop with Israeli Jews. It will not stop with American Jews. It will then become Westerners, and that we're all in this together. And I've said loud and long, you know who your friends are when you see who's coming in the door when everybody else is going out, and America needs to come in the door here when everybody else is going out. And most of Americans, that vast majority of the 70% in the middle, feel exactly that way and stand strong behind Israel. And they said, what do you expect when you sit down with the prime minister? And I said, well, listen, don't let the suit fool you. This gentleman has been in the IDF twice, been 5 years the first time, injured multiple times, correct? You were back in 73 for the
Okay, so this
time.
is a very good interview on YouTube. Dr. Phil sits down with Benjamin Netanyahu for about 45 minutes or so.
So sorry.
And it's on, I don't know what's up with Dr. Phil lately, but he has really awakened to the problems that we're going through, not only with the wars and conflicts going on, but the economy and truly just the worsening conditions that we're all facing in several different areas, not just this. So anyway, I sat down. I haven't finished that. I'll finish that later. But it begins, and I encourage every American to watch that, especially if for those of you that are, that'll never watch my channel, but who are engaged in these campus protests. You need to be informed, seriously. So I'll leave it at that. I really wanted to share a story yesterday, and I'll go ahead and share it now, just on our trip to McDonald's. And I know McDonald's and what's going on over there are two different things, but it's relevant to the point of our economy and why fast food is failing. So here we go. I'm in California, so now a hamburger flipper gets paid more than a corporal in the Marine Corps at $20 an hour. And so we went to a local McDonald's, and I haven't been in years. And the only reason we went was the wife was hungry, and she's like, McDonald's. So we stopped. We got out and we walked in, and it was about noontime, and maybe 5 or 6 people in the restaurant, maybe 5 or 6 employees that we could see. So we made our order. The wife sat down, and I paid with the $50 bill, and it came to for 2 Big Macs and a order of fries, no drinks. It was $18 and change. So I gave the gal, I can't believe that price. So I gave the gal a $50 bill, and she gave me change, and I just put it in my hand, went and sat down and gave the change to my wife. So she looks at it and she counts it, and she says, well, how much did you spend? And I gave, the receipt was right there. I said, well, $18. She said, well, they gave us $51 and change. So I was like, oh, cool. So we laughed about it, and I got up and I walked over to the cashier, and I said, yeah, can I speak with the manager? Because I thought, if your employees can't count, maybe the manager should know, right? But I was very nice and kind. And the cashier was very flippant. He's like, why do you need to speak with the manager? So I said, well, it's about my bill, about what I paid for my meal. And she said something that was very, I'll try and get the tone right. She said, well, I can take care of that. You don't need to speak with the manager. I said, well, please let me speak with the manager. And again, I'm being nice, right? So she turns in a huff, and she kind of yells back to the manager and said, there's a customer that wants to talk to you. So I waited for about 2 minutes. In fact, I stood there and waited for as long as it took them to make our meal. It was about 2 or 3 minutes. So the girl brings over a bag and calls our number, and that's our meal. So within that time period, the manager did not show up. So I'm thinking, what the hell? Right? So I got our meal and I went over and I sat down and I told my wife, I said, well, the manager was notified that I wanted to speak with the manager. So if the manager does not show up by the time we finish our meal, I'm keeping that $20 bill, right? Because in effect, they gave us 20 extra. So we sat through, and the meal was not impressive. I looked up at the floor, it was dirty. They had dirt that was piled up by the edges. You could tell they don't clean when they go home at night. A very rude service. A cashier that can't count. A manager that doesn't show up when told that a customer wants to speak with you. So, and the Big Macs were cold. They didn't taste good. And the fries, they had a burned fry. That was one burned fry, but it was a burned fry. And I doubt the freshness of the fries. So anyway, it was the worst meal that any establishment has paid me to eat. I'm never going back to McDonald's. But it kind of like capped a little highlight of our day, and the entire discussion of why businesses are failing. Fast food is failing in America. Now, I'm a product of the 1970s, and I grew up in the 70s, and you would never walk into a McDonald's and have that type of piss poor service, right? Anywhere in the United States. We took pride in, number one, getting a job. Number two, working for $2.65 an hour. Okay. Why? Because we were kids. We didn't want to make a career out of McDonald's. And that's what's changed. People believe that McDonald's is a career and they need a salary, right? So that's destroyed the entire fast food industry, in addition to a whole bunch of other things. So anyway, wanted to share that. This is the Cold War Sailor. Catch up on Dr. Phil. Out.